In my previous video, we spoke about the different free resources you could use to start your tech career, whether be a tech enthusiast or an experienced, technologist, or someone just looking to upskill. I gave you 10 different resources, free resources you could use to start your AWS, which is the Amazon Web Services career. And I also promised that in my next video, I was going to talk about the different cloud roles, their job descriptions basically, and the salaries, the salary ranges amongst these tech roles. So let's dive straight into it. In this video, I'm going to dissect 11 different cloud technology jobs. I know, 11. Cloud has different specialties, and every time you find a new job description, a new role, or a different title that comes up, and sometimes we do wonder, what does this role entail? What does a DevOps engineer do? Who is a solutions architect? What about a machine learning engineer? What about database? So all these names sometimes are very confusing, even though they're in the same realm of cloud computing. That is why I'm making this video, so we can all get the basic knowledge and understanding of what these roles entail, and the different pay grades or pay rates that come with them. I'll be referencing levels.fyi because it's a very popular and well-trusted platform for different job roles. So I am going to start with number 11. Number 11 is the AWS, the product manager. So a product manager in AWS basically is someone who manages cloud products and services. So what do? They define product strategy, and they work closely with engineering and marketing. So they're like the middleman between the engineers and marketing the cloud product. Also, one of the things they do is to define the product strategy, and as well they collaborate with the engineers and marketing teams to develop the product. They work within defining product timelines and all that. And if you've used Agile before, they use a lot of Agile, the Agile framework to deliver their products. At levels.fyi, you see, depending on what experience level you're getting to the market as a product manager, the salaries range from $99,000 to even up to $200,000 and above, according to levels.fyi. Now, at number 10, we have the AWS infrastructure architect. So who is an infrastructure architect, and what does that mean? Sometimes when we hear infrastructure, we begin to think you're building a whole infrastructure, right? Basically, it's the cloud infrastructure. And as an infrastructure architect, you'll be designing scalable and reliable AWS infrastructures for your clients in the cloud. It involves systems integration and infrastructure optimization. So let's look at the job description. For infrastructure architects, like I said, you have to design scalable and reliable infrastructures. Basically, you also lead infrastructure planning and optimization, and you collaborate with developers and engineers for system integration. Now, the salary ranges between 125 to 210 around levels.fyi, but again, it really depends on your experience in the field, because the big fangs will pay way more than what a regular or a startup would be offering. And interestingly, in the job market today, some startups actually do pay way more than the big fangs. Of course, they probably have money from angel investors, and they're still trying to make out a name for themselves, so they're paying higher for really good talent. So that was number 10, the infrastructure architect. At number 9, we're looking at the software development engineer. And a software development engineer creates applications, like here, software development engineer. So they mostly work with cloud applications, and they create applications and services on AWS. Also, they integrate AWS services into software solutions, and they manage the full software development lifecycle, or what is commonly called the SDLC. So things like APIs as well. They're involved a lot with API development, and integration with AWS services. And then for the salary range, it's between 135 to about 220 when you look at it on levels.fyi, depending on the company, but that is the range between which you would typically see a software engineer salary. Now, at number 8 is something that is very common amongst a lot of people in the tech world, and it's the database engineer or the database administrator, commonly known as the DBAs. And who are the DBAs? DBAs are people who build and maintain data infrastructure. Data is a very powerful tool that a lot of companies are using to project and get the direction and forecast their company. So DBAs are very, very important, and it's also a very critical role, because if you misinform the company, a lot is going to go down. So they basically develop data pipelines and they ensure data quality. And if data is your passion, then I really think DBAs or a database administrator would be a good place for you to start. So for the job role or job description, you build and maintain data infrastructure on AWS, and then you develop data pipelines and the ETL processes, which is extract, transform, load. Then you ensure as well data quality and accessibility. Yeah, so that is what a DBA basically does. Now at number 7, we have the AWS security engineer. And AWS security engineer, basically they focus on protecting the cloud. Security, that is what they do. They focus on protecting and securing the cloud. So they design security protocols, conduct audits, collaborate with teams to safeguard data. In today's world, security vulnerabilities are a huge problem. And in the cloud, a lot of companies are worried about getting into the cloud or moving their workloads into the cloud because they're worried about all these security vulnerabilities. Some cyborgs or some smart guy sitting somewhere in a basement and basically hacking into your system and putting out all your information. So those are things that a lot of companies are worried about. And today, security engineers are a huge and valuable asset to cloud computing. So they do focus on protecting the data, designing protocols, conducting audits, and collaborating with teams to safeguard the data. Salary ranges are also very high, but typically would see something around 115 to about 225,000, and when I say 115, it's $115,000 for entry-level security specialist jobs, because it's a specialty job. Now at number 6, we have the AWS machine learning engineer. So when we hear machine learning, we do ask a lot of questions, right? But who are they? These are just experts that use AWS to develop artificial intelligence and machine learning models and services for data analysis and predictions. Very valuable. They design and develop models, like I said. They implement data analysis and predictions, and they collaborate a lot with data scientists and engineers, to come up with all these models that they're developing and all the predictions they're making. They are also a huge asset to cloud computing because of the AI models that they're developing, which are very valuable to the company. Salary ranges between 150,000 way up to even 350,000, on levels.fyi. Let's see what they have. Probably around the same range depending on your experience, but it's also a very high paying job. Now, a senior cloud consultant. Who's an AWS senior cloud consultant? As a senior cloud consultant, your role would be to provide strategic guidance to clients on cloud adoption and optimization. So people who are trying to adopt and optimize their cloud workloads, you're providing a lot of guidance, which means you're acting as a concierge to these people. You're leading cloud migration projects, you're delivering training and mentorship to client teams. That is who a cloud consultant is. So you're basically acting as a consultant or a trusted advisor, to your clients. Salary ranges between 130 to 220 in some companies. So at number 4 is another role that has been growing a lot in today's world, and this is the DevOps engineers. And DevOps engineers are key players in bridging the gap between development and operation. So there's a lot of automation going on around DevOps. So they bridge the gap between development and operation. That's why it's called DevOps, development and operation. So they handle CI/CD pipelines or continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines, and they optimize your cloud resources. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. If it doesn't, you can Google just to get more about what that is. But basically, they're like the middleman in cloud computing between developers and the operation team. So they help facilitate that collaboration between two of them, and then they optimize your cloud resources for performance and cost. Salary ranges between 110 for entry level up to about 250 for experienced DevOps engineers. Now at number 3, we have the cloud engineer. I'm going to pause here for a minute and try to do a comparison between the cloud engineers and the cloud architect. Why am I doing this? Because there's been a lot of confusion. Even I was very confused when I just started hearing these terms. cloud engineer, cloud solutions architect. I thought they did the same thing, but as I got into the job market and got to learn more, I noticed that these were two different, very different roles actually. So a cloud engineer is someone who is more on the implementation side or more hands-on, and a solutions architect is someone who is more on the consulting side with the clients and the whole overall. Now let's look at what a cloud engineer does, or the role of a cloud engineer. So as a cloud engineer, you're basically responsible for developing and maintaining. You're developing and you're maintaining scalable cloud infrastructure, automation, security, compliance. That's what is your bread and butter. That's what you do every day. So you're a lot of hands-on on the console, implementing cloud solutions for your clients, automating cloud deployments and monitoring, and ensuring security and compliance. Now, what does a solutions architect do? As a solutions architect, you design and implement robust cloud solutions tailored to your client's needs. So, as a solutions architect, you are designing, consulting and designing solutions for your clients based on client needs. So you're basically the wizards of AWS services and best practices. You should know every little service in AWS, what it does, and how you can use that service and tailor them to respond to your client needs. So you're doing a lot of consultation, a lot of sessions, design sessions, lots of presentation. You need to have really good communication skills as well as a solutions architect, because you'll be designing and presenting solutions to your clients. You also need to have good listening skills, because you'll be gathering requirements from your clients and trying to implement them, choosing the best services within the AWS framework. So as a solutions architect, you're a wizard. You know every little service in AWS, what it does, and how you can tailor this service or advise your clients on the best services and the best practices that you can use in the cloud. I'm pretty sure you can easily tell already that why I'm focusing a lot on this, because that is what I do. And that is how I got to know the difference between an engineer and a solutions architect. Now, when the architect designs, what does the engineer do? They implement. So that's just the difference. The architect designs, the engineer implements. Yeah. And the salary ranges for solutions architect, it really varies depending on what level you are, because there are junior solutions architects, there are intermediate, there are principal solutions architects, there are senior solutions architects. So the salary really varies, but the median is usually between 120 and 250 as well. Now, my number one, the top cloud job that all of us are probably waiting for, and I know you're excited for as well. I don't know if you can guess, but I have mentioned it a couple of times in my other videos, and this would be the generative AI specialist. This job is the most sought in 2024, or it's going to be the most sought in 2024. It is relatively new, but rapidly growing, and it focuses on AI models that can generate text, images, and even code. As AI continues to evolve, the expertise in generative AI is really becoming increasingly invaluable. You position yourself at the forefront of AI, or AI innovation. And it's an exciting role that is gaining a lot of traction, because with tools like Google Bard or ChatGPT, DALL-E, all these text generation tools, image generation tools, we see that generative AI specialists are at the forefront of this. So let's look at what their roles entail. You are designing and developing AI models, from text generation to images to videos and to even code, And you have to use advanced learning techniques to create models that can mimic human creativity. ChatGPT will tell you that, right? And then the second one is going to be implementing AI solutions. So these specialists, they work on practical applications of generative AI, such as creating personalized content, automating design tasks, and enhancing user experiences in various digital platforms. Today, when you're using the AWS platform, you do notice that there's a little thing that pops up whenever they ask you. It's generative AI, where you can put in a question and it will generate to you or suggest a solution you can use. So those are some of the things that the generative AI experts will do. And then research and innovation, you're a big part of an emerging field. And in research, you'd have to push so many boundaries. The possibilities are endless, right? So you're contributing to innovative solutions in tech. Now, the big part, what is the job salary? This one should be pretty much huge, right? But today, when you're looking at it from entry level to expertise, we're seeing around 150 for entry level till about even 300, of course. And that is because it is a field that is gaining grounds in today's tech world. So you've heard the different roles. Don't just take everything that I've given you. Do your own research, see which one works best for you and which you would like to implement and what path you would like to follow. Another thing is you can talk to a mentor. I always advise to find a mentor in your field, no matter what. Always find a mentor or someone to follow, talk to, who will give you that guidance to follow that career path. And then once you get that, I provided free resources. There are also paid courses that you can take which are tailored and specialized just to some of these roles, like the DevOps engineers. There are courses the DevOps engineers have courses. We also have solutions architects. We have some for database engineers, which are just tailored to give you that career path. So if you think this is something you're interested in, drop in the link below. You'll find resources or places to connect you to. Or if you like self-studying, there's lots of resources out there that you can follow, and this will be really helpful. I hope, again, one more time, that this was valuable information. And if you liked it, subscribe, share the video. Let's see how we can go together in 2024. Thank you and bye.